What's up, everybody? It is Ben-tastic Walnut here today with a video, kind of a post-game commentary on Sorcerers. This is what I'm going to go over today. I'm going to look at one of my past games here, looking specifically at Sorcerers and also Econ management. What I did throughout this game, I feel like I made a couple pretty interesting and good decisions to make sure that I got the Econ that I needed this game. So without further ado, we'll just jump right in. So this game I started off with Ari with a tier. Ari with a tier is an extremely strong start. Probably one of the only two costs besides maybe Lucian with like a tier if you get a Ludens that like I'll just keep no matter what off the beginning. Really gives a lot of options with the wild buff and going into some sort of sorcerer transition later, especially if you get something like a Seraphs. So tier is a really great item for sorcerers in general. You start off with all the Seraph options. The Ludens Echo is really good early game, and then you can just move into even like throwing a static Shiv on Ari isn't bad at all. It's something that can move over to maybe something else later game. So sorcerers this patch are really good. They're extremely easy to do. There's so many of them in general, and then there's also just really easy just to splash 3 into any comp. Alright, so after the creep round, I ended up with actually quite a few items, and I wanted to make sure that I got the Morellonomicon early, so I went ahead and made a static Shiv instead of a Ludens Echo, even though both were a good choice. And then here, in this current meta, basically everybody levels to 4 here. So just talking about my econ management this game, I did sell to make sure that I got to 4. I sold anything that wasn't a brawler or a sorcerer, because obviously this current composition I have is going to lean more in towards the sorcerer brawler comps. So just wanted to talk on that real quick. It's really good leveling to 4 here if you want to win streak through the early game, or you want to make sure you have a higher health total, because if you just don't, you kind of will lose every fight here and you'll end up around 85 health at the first carousel. And if you think you're in an okay spot, especially if you want to build items early, it's really good to level to 4. First carousel here, I picked a sword. I got this just for the GA. So right at the chain vest on the bench. Obviously belt was going to be the priority at this carousel, but then also I did get a 3-cost unit as well. I think that's pretty important to being able to move through the later stages to get econ. And then right here, I always think that it's pretty important to try and hit econ on round 2-4. So when I found the Cho'Gath there, I decided to just go ahead and take out my Nidalee, which was already level 3, or the 2-star unit, and put the GA onto Cho'Gath, because it's going to be a pretty integral part of the team comp. And so here I go ahead and I sell the Nidalee, the Darius, and then actually both of the Lulus, because I don't think that I'm going to be going Lulu. I think I'll be going more TF as a battery for the other sorcerers that I'll be running. With hitting interest here, you kind of have to think to yourself, like, what is going to be the most important parts of your team comp? Here I really made the decision that it was going to be Twisted Fate, not Lulu, and then the Nidalee didn't matter to me, so I sold my 2-star Nidalee because I already have some of the most core units of what I'm going to be running. And that allowed me to hit the initial gold so that we can build our econ before Krugs. The thing here, as far as the econ management of it all goes, is just thinking about when do you level after Krugs. So I was able to get up to the 20 gold mark. I think I picked up a couple things on the interim on the way. And then at Krugs, you just decide afterwards, do you level now or do you wait? Obviously, the question is, do you have something important to put in? A lot of people you'll see will hit 6 here. And then once I hit that TF upgrade, I was able to get the 3 sorcerers, and I was able to put him in. So I did go for the level here. It wasn't too expensive, but if you don't have anything good to put in, even though I had only 1-cost units, or 1-star units, it's fine to not level here, just so that I could econ higher, so I could roll down at level 5 a little bit later to maybe hit 2 stars on those 1-cost and 2-cost units. Here is one of the bigger econ decisions I made throughout this game. I found an A-Soul, and finding the A-Soul, I knew that eventually I was going to, at some point in this game, get rid of Warwick and get rid of Ari, and I was going to put in A-Soul and Shyvana. And here I decided that it's pretty important for me to be able to hit econ, and I didn't want to just have the 7 gold of Shyvana and A-Soul sitting on the bench. So I switch out my A-Soul with my Ari, I put my Shyvana in for my Warwick just because I have a similar power spike, and I go ahead and just put those items over on A-Soul. This allowed me to sell the units on my bench to hit the 20 gold to keep gaining interest, and it put some of my late game units in. I wouldn't have done that probably if I was win streaking with a like 2-star Ari, for example, but I think that this overall was a pretty good decision just because I already had the units and I didn't want to have that 7 gold on the bench being wasted. All right, so this next thing here, I roll Jinx. Big thing about Jinx is and I believe this round was when I was planning on rolling down for upgrades. So the biggest thing about Jinx right now is, and I saw 2 of them too, she is just extremely strong, and Jinx and Vi in general can be put into almost any composition to increase their strength. So if you're able to splash 2 units somehow, Jinx and Vi is definitely the way to go. So when I saw these 2 units pop up on and I got 2 of each of them just rolling down at level 6, which is pretty fortunate. I decided to probably not go with Void anymore, and I was going to go with Jinx and Vi as my, other units rather than having Void with my Sorcerers. So I was going to go Sorcerers, I was going to run Jinx and Vi, Jinx as a second carry. Here at this next carousel, it was pretty important for me to be able to find Morello, so I was just looking for either of the belts. It's pretty simple. Grab a belt, get a Morello, and then we can put that on Acel. Here we've got, I put the belt over on Acel, and then going through the next few rounds, I'm just trying to keep my Econ high. I do find the 2-star Jinx and the 2-star Vi, which, what can you do? If the game gives it to you, you might as well play it. So I find those, I pick up Blitz as a second brawler later, and then I decide to go ahead and build, I decided to wait until creep rounds to build this Ionic Spark. When I put Jinx in, I know I'm going to be putting probably an Ionic Spark on her from the Cho'Gath, but I did want to wait just 1 round. I should have switched them there, honestly, knowing that I could have hit the gold, but I still hit 20 anyways. I don't think I was going to hit 30 from selling for, yeah. So for now, we go ahead and we just keep on waiting. We're going to wait till after the creep round to commit to the items. That way we can either build something different if we find something, or we won't be stuck with an Ionic Spark if it ends up not being part of our comp. All right, so right here is where I decide that I really need to start putting these items over. So I go ahead and I sell the Cho'Gath and I put in the Blitz to get my the brawlers, and then Blitz and Jinx and Vi have extremely good synergy. And I put that Ionic Spark over onto the Jinx just so she can get the assists faster. I believe I put the GA onto Aurelion Soul. Yeah, as he's part of my main carry composition, and he's already got that magic resistance, so having him alive with the dragon buff is pretty good. And so this level 7 comp that I have here is pretty much what I'm going to be sticking with for the rest of the game. But I'm at currently in this game is I'm at an extremely good spot. Being at the high HP total that I am, this is where you can kind of make the decision going into the late game on whether you're going to hit level 8, level 9, or if you're going to econ for a little bit just to roll down, or if you just need to roll to find units. Generally in this situation, if you're able to keep your health total high by winning throughout the early game, and I didn't even have many 2-star units throughout this early game. I had some good 1-star units, but for some reason, I wasn't losing a ton of health, and that was probably just due to having the 2-star Jinx, 2-star Vi through the mid-game rounds. Those really will carry you pretty hard. And so here you can kind of make the decision. You can look forward in the game. You say, is this a game where I'm going to be hitting level 8, level 9? What are we going to be doing? You have to kind of assess how strong you are. Here, I could have rolled for Lulu, Blitz, and Shyvana upgrades. Those would all be relative, and Acel as well. Acel is something that I need, but I do have, good enough econ and enough health to lose if I do lose a few rounds. So I decided to go ahead and econ because I realized I'm probably going to be hitting level 9 this game, just because I'm so much farther ahead than the rest of my opponents. So here we make sure to keep our econ high. We hit that 50 gold, so we're getting that 5 interest per round. And then again, we wait until the creep round to commit to any of these kind of more weird items like a redemption or anything like that. So after this creep round, we do, I believe, find a sorcerer. And we go ahead and we throw a static shiv onto Jinx so she's getting more assists quickly. And then we can put that sorcerer over onto Vi. Hitting that spatula really allows me to go 6 sorcerers this game. It kind of defines the direction that my composition will end up going. I feel pretty good about it. So I actually level here because it's not too much gold, and I just throw in a Gnar. The real reason I was throwing in units here was because I knew I was going to find something that I need to put in at level 8 just to keep my win streak going. I have a 7-game win streak right now, and it's extremely important for my Econ to keep that win streak going, because that's like a lot of gold over time. I mean, it's at least the 7, then plus the win streak gold. I think it's probably 15 or 16 gold that you get from a 7-game win streak, and then each one after that is going to be an additional 4 gold. So this next carousel is pretty good. There's always going to be items on this carousel, so if you're one of the top people, you might not be getting the items, but something that has been happening with this one is if you have a 5-cost unit that you're going for and they end up not having an item on them, they normally won't get taken. So here I was actually able to get a Karthus, and I just throw a Zeke's Herald on this Karthus, using him as part of my late game composition as well. Here I've got the 5 sorcerers. I could just replace Blitz to get 6, but I knew that I'd have to hit 9, and I'd want the Brawler buff. I also want the Blitz Vi synergy with Jinx. It's all pretty strong. Position like this just for Hex Tech, obviously, so that none of my items get wrecked. So here I've still got that 50 gold. I'm able to level right now. We pop up to 60. We've got enough gold to level, and we could put in our 6th sorcerer. And you kind of have to ask yourself, you know, am I gonna Econ for 2 rounds because we're gonna hit one opponent and then we're gonna hit a creep round? Or am I going to level now? Well, when you're at 58 health and your opponents are all under you, right here you can just choose to Econ so you can hit more rolls, because I wanted to find Karthus 2, and I wanted to maybe find like Jinx 3 or Vi 3 later in the game if I needed it. So here, whenever you're going to go into a creep round, again, along with the combining items, waiting then, you can wait and Econ through those creep rounds as well. So I decided here to just Econ for 2 rounds, and then I was going to level up after that. And we're still extremely strong. We high rolled a lot this game. We have a few upgrades we could find, but all inning right here and hitting level 9 and then rolling, I'd rather have the extra 20, 25, 30 gold to find those 2-star units that I'm looking for, and possibly even some of the 3-star. So here at the Dragon Round, we finish it out. We hit that Econ again, and then we just go ahead and we level and we roll down. This allows us to be on a good interval on 6-1 to level to 9, which again is actually pretty early for some people leveling to 9 if the game, you know, goes this far. And then we're just going to roll all the way down. We're obviously looking for Lulu 2, Karthus 2, Acel 2. And finding those units is going to be pretty important to finishing out the game. All right, yeah, so the biggest thing to take away from this game overall is that having a high health total really allows you to make bold moves with your Econ. Maybe I just high rolled this game, maybe not, but I think there was a couple things where I threw away what could look like the strongest units in my team at a given time to make sure that I hit Econ using the benched units that I already had. So throughout the rest of this game, it just plays out pretty simple. My opponents were already really weak. And we just go through. We do find the Karthus 2 eventually, and my team is just too strong for them to stop at this current point. They haven't found their most important upgrades, and so on and so forth. The Econ possibility past Wolves and Raptors, when you have high health, is just something to really think about. A lot of people, they'll really hard commit at level 6 or level 7, but the higher your health is, the more likely you can hit level 8 and level 9. So right now, I'm just a Diamond 3 player, whatnot, but take my word as you will. I just thought this was a pretty good game that highlighted the power of Sorcerers, the versatility of Jinx and Vi in almost any composition, and then also just the ability to hit Econ throughout the game at different points. But thank you guys for watching. You can catch me live weekday mornings at twitch.tv/bentasticwalnut, and I'll catch you on the next one. Let me know in the comments below if this helped you at all, or if you want to see any other similar content like this. Thanks. Got the Karthus. Fortunately, we got a lock for it. I don't think I ever sell anything either. No, I can't really sell Blitz for 4 gold. It puts me 8. That's worth it because I can beat him here with it. And the 2-star Karthus is worth it there. Oh, and he didn't position for Hex Tech either. Oh man, but my Vi instantly died. It doesn't matter. Turns out I'm busted. Good game, everybody. Easy first place there.